beautiful afternoon to every one of you watching us today on your darling station. Yes, you're welcome to your healthy program, Healthy Living, with Oloi J. Oikohai. I'll be standing in for Adesuwa Osa-Owage. Yes, health is wealth. It's good for you to live healthy. It's good for you to stay healthy, for you to be able to know that, yes, I am eating well, I am growing well, and I'm living well. Today on Healthy Living, we will be looking at common cold in children. And to do that for us, we have Dr. Leonard Atsikidi, consultant family physician. Doctor, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Aloije.
Today on Healthy Living, we want to narrow our minds into common cold. We know it's the season of rain here, rain there. Today while I was coming to the studio, I heard some persons counting, oh, now 5 days, oh, the rain don't fall. And some other person said, no, 4 days. Okay, it has been raining and raining consistently. Now, I want to ask, the reason why we have this issue of children having cough, some of them, they have what we call the flu. Yes, Qatar, commonly known as Qatar. So today on Healthy Living, we'll be talking about common cold in children. So, Doctor, I want you to explain to us what common cold is in children.
Good afternoon again, viewers. Well, what we're discussing is common cold, and it's otherwise known as coryza. And what it simply means is that those affected, they present with itching cessation or burning cessation in their throats. They come either with cough, catarrh, and some other non-specific complaints, malaria. And in the course of doing that, oftentimes you discover that within 48 hours, more than one person in the family is suffering from the same symptom. Yeah. So we tag it as common cold or coryza. And again, it's a viral disease. What I mean, oftentimes you discover that it doesn't actually require treatment. Because when anyone is suffering from common cold, you discover that it runs a course, and if adequately managed, of course it resolves on its own. But if not properly taken care of, you discover that it will spread in the family, in the classroom, in the dormitories, and what have you. So common cold is actually common in this season of rain. You know, it's actually again common among the extremes of age. When I say extremes of age, I talk about children, and again, we'll talk about the elderly. And this is, you know, as a result of their immune status. So, and with the cold weather, you discover that they can easily get infected with this viral illness. So that, in summary, what common cold is all about.
All right, if you just joined us, this is Healthy Living on your darling station, and we're talking about common cold. You want to be a part of us, you want to ask our daughter here what it's all about, the causes. You have 1 or 2 questions to ask about common cold. You can call us on 052-290-573. I'll call it again, 052-290-573. All right, Doctor, we want to ask now, you said it's because the weather, the season, you have it in mostly when the weather is cold. So I want to ask, does it mean that when we are in the dry season, we don't get to see children falling ill, having this common cold?
No. You can see it in any of these seasons, whether dry or rainy season. But again, it is, like I said, it's associated with the immunity of this group of persons. And with the cold weather, I discovered that it does, you know,
it spreads faster.
Yeah, it spreads faster, and it tends to affect more persons during this season. But at other times of the other season, you discover that though you have it, but it's not as common as what we find now.
Okay. So can we likely say it's common in children than in adults?
Yes, it's commoner amongst children than adults. But again, like I said, you find it more in the extremes of age. You know, for example, because the spread of common cold has to do with, you know, good personal hygiene in order to prevent it. For example, somebody is sneezing around you. Children oftentimes will not know how to prevent themselves from inhaling such droplets. And so you discover that they can easily contact it. And again, when we talk about hand washing, which is one of the preventive measures, children oftentimes, except you compel them to do some of these things, they may not even bother to wash their hands because they don't know the importance, except you teach them. So you find that it is actually commoner among children because of their peculiar nature.
Okay, because they are not fond of finding themselves saying, oh, I want to wash my hand before I eat. I just went to the restroom. I want to wash my hands. So they get distance faster than adults. All right. So when we talk about the symptoms right now, can we say when someone have runny nose?
Yes. You know, what happens is this. When somebody, develops common cold or coryza, you discover that in the first 24 hours, usually they present with watery nasal discharge, preceded by nasal itching, burning sensations, and sometimes there is cough, which is mild, and that cough may resolve even, on its own within a period of about 10 days. And outside these ones I've mentioned, the patient can also present with malaise, that is feeling generally unwell. So these are some of the symptoms. And if these symptoms are not properly managed, like there can be complications associated with it. So we usually advise that when there is, of course, common cold, like I said, initially it's watery and a few times, colorless. But within the next 48 hours, the color may change. This may be as a result of secondary bacterial infection.
That's the color of the flu.
Yes, it could change along with it. And the first 24 hours is usually milder in terms of flow of nasal discharge. Okay. But in another 24 hours again, it increases. It becomes more purulent. And you discover the person is sneezing more, maybe coughing and feeling unwell. Or sometimes you can even mistake it for malaria fever. Yes. So, but in this case of common cold, temperature is usually normal. So when you now start seeing the patient or the child, the child developing, fever, of course, you have to think of either there is now a secondary bacterial infection or maybe something else is being superimposed.
All right, you have heard it all from our doctor. Let's go for a short break. We'll be right back on Healthy Living. Don't go nowhere.
Independent television is live 24 hours on Go TV, channel 107, Star Times, channel 130. You can watch from any part of the world on Roku TV, Smart TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Android TV for your favorite programs, news, current affairs, and lots more. You don't want to miss our objective and balanced reportage, entertainment, and sports. Now follow us via our social media channels on Twitter at ITV Radio NG. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ITV Radio NG. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/ITV Radio NG. Visit our website for more news stories and lots more. ITVRadioNigeria.com. Watch ITV via live streaming on the internet. ITVRadioNigeria.com/live and click on the TV stream option. Also remember to visit your mobile app store and download the ITV app so you can watch on the go. For advert placement and commercials, call the following numbers: 0805 563 8573, 0803 775-5024, 0708 365 2800, and 0708 365-2474. Independent television, certainly the best.
All right, thank you so much for joining us on Healthy Living with Oloije Oyikokai. I did tell you our doctor, his name is Dr. Leonard Atsikidi. He is consultant family physician. All right, we did talk about the courses earlier, yes, and we will be going into what we have to say, the symptoms. Yes, we've talked about the symptoms, we talked about the causes. Now, we need to tell our people the preventive measures to take.
Now, the truth is that for common cold, now there are the common things you need to do is for you to maintain good personal hygiene. For example, you have common cold, you are sneezing, you must learn how to properly, let me use the word, how to control your droplets. What I mean, when you sneeze, you release some of these organisms that can spread to affect other persons. We usually advise, and some people when they are sneezing, they open their palms. They sneeze into their palm, and they do like this, and they just rub it together, and they move on. By the next minute, that same hand, they are using it to shake somebody else. That is actually bad manners. If you want to sneeze, you must learn to sneeze on your sleeve.
Okay. You said you must learn to sneeze on your sleeve.
Yeah.
Now, what about the child that does not know he or she needs to sneeze on the sleeve? What is the child supposed to do?
That is why I have told you that amongst children, it's commoner.
Okay. Because they don't know the hygienic methods.
So, but again, when you are bringing up your children, even at the kindergarten level, you start teaching them those good manners. They learn. And before you know it, they even start telling you, Mommy.
Yes, you haven't washed your hands.
You haven't washed your hands. Mommy, look at the way you are sneezing on your palm. No, you are supposed to sneeze on your sleeve.
Yes, yes.
And some people carry hanky, they sneeze on it, they carry it till the next day without even washing it.
True.
So we must learn these good manners and learn to wash your hands as often as possible. Let's say you sneezed on your palm. Before you use those hands to do something else, try and find a way to wash them. Okay. So good personal hygiene. And again, like I said, this thing is also associated with the immune system. When we talk about immune, we're talking about the soldiers that you are naturally endowed with that help to fight every infection. So if you also feed well, of course, you discover that your immunity will be good enough to fight some of these viral illnesses. Now, some people, they think that eating citrus fruits and what have you prevents or is a form of treatment for common cold. No. So what you need to do, if your children, they are sneezing, and they also have rhinorrhea, that is the nostrils are flowing with catarrh. Also teach them how to properly clean their nostrils. Give them a hanky and tell them that after cleaning with either the hanky or with the tissue, they should dispose it up properly. Okay. With this, you minimize spread. Okay,
I will need to pause you there. If you just joined us, yes, it's Healthy Living on your darling station. And I know you have lots and lots of questions to ask our doctor right here in the studio. The numbers to call is 052-290-573. I'll call it again, 052-290-573. Back to our doctor.
So, like I said, there are no vaccines that, especially in this part of the world, we don't have vaccines that we can use to prevent some of these evil ailments. So you are the one that should learn how to be able to control those things when they do happen in your home. If a child is sneezing, for example, you have 2 children, you may have to temporarily separate the other child from the one that is infected. And with that, you discover that within you are able to limit it just to that child alone. But you find that because parents may not understand the way this thing goes, so everybody is together. Before you know it, everybody in the house is having the same symptoms. So we must learn common hand washing, and we must know how to also wash our hands properly.
All right, you must learn how to wash your hands properly. All right, we have a caller online now, but I need to remind you again, the number to call is 052-290-573. Yes, I did remember you said something about washing of hands. I remember when there was this viral, yes, Ebola. Yes, everyone is either anyway, you just move a little step, you find yourself washing your hands. But nowadays, we don't find ourselves washing our hands again because we don't have that word called Ebola in our system any longer. All right, so it's always good, whether you're at home, whether you're in the marketplace, wherever you are, it's always good for you to wash your hands. Hello? Hello? All right, we lost that call. 052-290-573. So doctor, now we said the common cold is a viral disease. Now how we say it, okay, it's a viral disease. Now you get to see some children, they have this cold. They also have some persons, yes, some children, they also have fever. They come with hot temperature. You find them falling ill, having cough and all that. So is it still attributed to what we're talking about, the common cold?
No, you see, by the time a child presents with fever, we have to then investigate and know exactly what may be responsible for this fever.
So are you saying common cold does not come
usually there is no fever.
Okay.
Temperature is usually normal, except there is something, that is superimposed. So that is when they start developing fever. Although
hello?
There are some other...
I think we have someone on... Hello? Hello? All right, we lost that call. 052-290-573. 052-290-573. For you to come across with our doctor, ask him that question you has been bothering your mind. Hello?
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 Can you hear me? Hello? All right, keep the calls coming in, 052-290-573. All right, doctor, let's talk about the treatment. Yes, you said there are no known treatments to it. But I want to, you see some mothers, some fathers going to the pharmacies to say, oh, my daughter, my son has cold. What can I give this person to take? So what do you think?
Okay, before I go into the treatment, there are a few things I needed to also add in terms of the symptoms. Now, other things that the sufferer may present with.
Hello? Hello? All right, back to you, doctor.
Now, they could also present with sore throat, nasal congestion, and sometimes there could also be hearing impairment because of the blockade of the connection between the throat and the ear that will cause the eustachian tube. They could also, present with sore throat. That means they have pain while swallowing. And sometimes there could be hearing impairment as a result of blockade of the eustachian tube. So, and apart from those things I mentioned, earlier mentioned Malay, which means the patient feels generally that he's sick. And when you see such symptoms, of course, and there is sneezing, there is cough, which is usually mild, you know that this is a common cold, and therefore you should seek treatment. Now, when we talk about treatment of this patient, usually treatment is non-specific. What I mean, there is no specific drug that you say these are the drugs you give. If the patient is, if the patient is having pain while swallowing, you should look down the throat and see whether the tonsils are inflamed. And if they are, and again, the nostrils are blocked, oftentimes we need to give some decongestants in order to decongest, you know, the nostrils and what have you. Then if the patient is feeling unwell, generally unwell, sometimes we just give them common paracetamol.
And before we go on a short break, I want to let our viewers at home know that we're talking about common cold. Yes, this is the season where we find our little ones, they have flu. Some of them have what we call high temperature, and we also find some of them coughing. Now, we're talking about common cold for you and I to be enlightened on what to do when we find these things on our little ones. All right, we'll go for a short break. We're still here with our doctor, Dr. Leonard Asikidi. Don't go nowhere.
Generator fumes are gases ejected from the engine of a power generating set as waste products. The big question is, would you drive your car into your house and leave it running? It only makes sense that you should never run a generator inside your house either, because, like cars, all power generating sets give off carbon monoxide, which is a poisonous, odorless, colorless, and very deadly gas. So, never ever run a portable generator indoors or in a partially enclosed space, including your kitchen, garage, bathroom, toilet, or even if you use fans or open doors and windows, because you could end up dead. This is a safety message from Independent Television and Radio.
All right, thank you so much for rejoining us on Healthy Living. Olori J. Oikokai and Dr. Leonard Asikidi is still here with us, giving us more education on how to manage common cold. Now, talking about management of common cold, we want to know how we can manage this ailment.
Well, again, now I've mentioned earlier on that it is non-specific in terms of treatment. Although when we talk about management, we also talk about how do you make a diagnosis. Here, diagnosis is actually clinical. What I mean, there are no specific investigations you need to do for you to be able to make an assessment of common cold. Just from your clinical assessment, you are able to say this is common cold. Because if you look at the patient who is presented to you, chest is clear, there is no difficulty with breathing, you know, no fever, and of course you put all this together and you make your assessment. Now, in terms of management that I've earlier on said is not specific, we manage the symptoms. If the patient has nasal congestion, you decongest. You give agents that will decongest the nostrils. Okay. Now, patient is complaining of general malaise, feeling unwell. You also encourage this patient at this time to drink plenty of plain fluids. This patient also may also need to take paracetamol, common paracetamol, just to relieve some of the symptoms that the patient feels, because it's actually self-limiting. Within a few days, you discover that whether you treat or not, it will resolve. Then, if there is history of allergy, again, of course, you have to give antihistamine in order to reduce the symptoms that the patient is complaining about. So, but again, by the time there is secondary infection, then that is when antibiotics come in. Routinely, we don't give antibiotics to treat common cold. So, these are a few things you do. Like I said, you know, at this period also, you discover that, you know, some of these multivitamins that we also give, like vitamin C, may also be helpful in terms of management of this patient. But oftentimes, if there are no complications, now if there is sore throat, you will give something, an anti-inflammatory agent, to relieve the inflammation that is going on in the tonsils. Then, if there is need for antibiotics, of course, you also introduce antibiotics to take care of the symptoms. So there is no specific treatment as such. All what we do is that we manage the symptoms.
All right, yes, doctor has said it all. We need to manage the symptoms. Common cold, we find it in children, we find it in adults. That is so, doctor.
Yes.
We find it in everyone. So you need to have good hygiene Wash your hands every time you go to the market, you go to your place of work, you come back home. Immediately before you touch your kids, make sure you wash your hands. You go to the market, you return back home, wash your hands. Whatever you do, make sure you have good hygienic system. All right, before we'll leave our doctor, before our doctor will go off the studio, we want to ask our doctor this last question. When we talk about good hygienic system, we find some persons just get a bowl of water, they wash their hands and say, oh, I am done washing my hands. Is that all?
No, it is usually better you wash your hands under running water. You don't have a tap at home, you could get a bucket with a tap. Or somebody can pour the water for you. So it's not washing your hand on the same bowl and you claim you have washed your hand, no. So you have to, it has to be done with soap and with clean water under a running tap, or somebody helps you, you know, to mimic a running tap. So, and before I go, like you said, there are complications that are associated with this simple ailment, that it may end up with the patient coming on admission. Because if not properly taken care of or managed, it can even result to lower respiratory tract infection. Because what we'll be talking about is upper respiratory tract infection, like bronchitis, now pneumonia. So what was, you know, initially simple now becomes complex and complicated. So at that time, that child may require, or that patient may require admission. And in the course of management of this patient, the patient, what would have taken you little, you know,
or nothing,
or nothing, will not cost you more money. So that's why we advise when a child is, instead of applying remedies that you know nothing about, it is usually better that you consult a physician.
Okay. All right, consult a physician. Remember, health is wealth. You're strong, you're happy. You're strong, you can do whatever you want to do. Remember that your children need to be good and your children need to stay healthy for you as a parent to be happy. Stay good to yourself, be hygienic, wash your hands well, thoroughly. Now, I remember also, doctor, sanitizers, are they also good for...
Well, after washing your hands, if you can afford it, you can also use your hand sanitizer.
Some persons, they just wash their hands, they don't even wash their hands, they just make use of the sanitizer.
It is usually better to wash, because if you have not washed away what is on your hand, let's say you went to the lavatory, there's poo in your hand, you just use sanitizer to rub it, you have not washed away what is there. Okay. So it's usually better that you wash before you use your
sanitizer. All right, always make sure you take good care of your children. Remember, we talked about common cold in children. Yes, it is the wet season. Make sure you keep them warm. Make sure you keep them healthy. Teach them these things. Teach them how to wash their hands. Teach them how to take good care of themselves. All right, we'll be seeing you again next week for another exciting time on healthy living. Remember, we talked about common cold in children, the causes, the symptoms, and how you should prevent it. Remember, health is wealth. Prevention is better than cure. Good hygiene matters a lot. Clear your environment. Make sure your children always wash their hands. And I remember what Dr. Asikidi said. He said, teach your children how to sneeze on their sleeve. That's like, all right? I have learned that also from Dr. Asikidi. All right, I'll be seeing you again next week for another exciting time on healthy living. Till then, do have yourself a wonderful day. Bye for now.